The worries and cares of our day can pile up so high, it can be overwhelming. Mistakes from yesterday, worries about tomorrow can just overwhelm us. Hello, friend. My name's Zach, and I'm an anxiety management coach, and I'm a former pastor. And 1 Peter 5:7 has been an integral part of my life to manage anxiety. So let's talk about it real quick. First, what happens with our brain? So, this is your brain. And here's all the worries and cares going on. You can see there's not much space. In fact, if we try to hit that side, it won't hold. It will just bounce off. And that's what happens when we get reactive, or you can think, my brain will not work. Yeah, you're right, because it's full of all your problems, right? So what we're going to learn today is how to reduce that through a practice called benevolent detachment. Benevolent detachment's purely kindly letting go. In fact, 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast your anxiety on him because he cares for you. One of my favorite verses of all time. So much truth in there. One, he cares for you. He cares for me on an intimate level. But two, that benevolent detachment, that kindly letting go. How do we do that? That's a great verse, but how do we give him our worries and cares? Here's how. Number one, you got to notice that you're actually carrying it. Notice there's a lot in there. In fact, usually when we notice, there is dozens of worries and cares in our life. But we haven't taken the time to check in, right? So if someone asks you, you seem a little reactive, you're not even going to be able to tell them why fully, right? But here's what we do. We notice that we're carrying things. A simple practice for me is I have check-in points throughout the day so that I can look inward to notice. Because if I don't do that, guess what? I'm so far down that line that it becomes really hard for me to not be reactive, to not be blind to God and blind to others in my life. We can even ask God, God, show me what I'm carrying. That's how I enter into prayer, is I ask, God, what do I need to let go of? And without fail, every time there's at least one thing. Usually there's multiple things. So I notice, right? And the Holy Spirit helps us to notice. And then I name it, verbally say it, what it is, as concretely as possible. This morning I was worried. I was noticing in my prayer time. I was concerned about my kids. My daughter, my oldest, she had a hard day yesterday. I won't go into the details, but I had to give that to God. I had to notice I was carrying it. I had to name it concretely as possible. I care for my child. I don't want her to be in pain. I want to control that. I had to name that that's not mine to control and give it to God. See, so we notice, we name, and then we verbally cast it to God. See, when you do one thing, usually it reveals another thing. And usually then it reveals another thing. And you just start going through a list. And here's the beautiful thing, though. As we notice and name and give it to God, and give another one to God, and give another one to God, and give another one to God, the beautiful thing is now there is space in there to hear from God. See, as I gave him my worries, he reminded me this morning that he knows my kids very intimately. In fact, he knit them in their mother's womb. He has a plan and a purpose for their life, and he cares about them more than I do. I needed those reminders this morning. Do you know what you need to be reminded of? I don't know. But I know the one that does know. And one of the ways we can hear from him better is by noticing and naming and following 1 Peter 5:7, because he does care for you, and he will tell you exactly what you need to hear. Have a great day, and God bless you in your journey.